This is the 2017 Nissan Armada. It's a big, unapologetic, body-on-frame SUV with space for 7 people. Now that's what it is, but I'm here to tell you what it isn't. So even before I start my full review on this Armada, I need to give you a bit of the backstory and explain what I meant by what this thing isn't. When it came time to redesign the Armada for 2017, Nissan, in my eyes, had 3 different options. Option A would have been to use the new redesigned Nissan Titan platform and build the SUV on that, but they didn't choose to do that. Now the second option, and the one they took, is to import the Nissan Patrol. That's what this SUV is, and just rebadge it as the Armada. The third way Nissan could have gone, and the way I would have liked them to have gone, is to bring over the Patrol untouched. That means that it would have still had front and rear locking differentials, disconnecting sway bars, and a unique hydraulic body motion control system, which helps to control body roll with these neat hydraulic mounts. But of course, Nissan chose not to do that, instead giving us a totally watered down version of the Patrol, which ended up being this Armada. Now realistically, I understand that it makes more sense for Nissan to try to sell to that family segment rather than to the hardcore off-roaders. I just wish that they had have brought the hardcore off-road model. But this switch over to the Patrol isn't exactly working well for families either. So yeah, there's no cool off-road equipment, and the third row lost almost 4 inches of legroom. But let's just try to forget all that for a minute and just look at what this vehicle actually does. Unlike some other modern SUVs, which have some aspirations of handling well and kind of sticking in the corners, this Armada just feels old school. And what I mean by that is it's just big and floaty, the suspension is nice and soft, and that equals a very comfortable ride. Seriously, this is probably one of the comfiest full-size SUVs on the market. And it's backed up by a 5.6-liter V8 that makes 390 horsepower and 394 pound-feet of torque. All of that power is sent through a 7-speed automatic transmission, which goes about its business quickly. One of the nicest things is it actually has auto rev matching downshifts. So when you do ask for more power, you get this nice, smooth power delivery, even with a big downshift. The steering in this Armada is quite light, and there's really no feedback coming through the wheel. So sure, it does lend itself kind of to this comfortable feeling, but I know that Nissan has a good steering rack in the Nissan Half-Ton, which would have worked really well in this SUV. So it's just another way that the buyer is kind of missing out because Nissan made this decision. When it comes to fuel economy, as can be expected for a vehicle that weighs nearly 6,000 pounds and has a V8 under the hood, the 2017 Armada is rated at 13 miles per gallon in the city, 18 on the highway, and 15 combined. In our time with the Armada, we have been averaging about 16 miles per gallon, so while that's not great, at least we are beating that average EPA number. Looking at the interior of this Armada, it's not a bad place to be, but I see some problems. One of my biggest issues is all of these little gray plastic buttons down here in the center stack. I just think they look ugly, and they especially look ugly contrasted next to this nice wood. And my other problem is, this interior looks like it could be straight out of 2010, because it is. Look at this photo of an interior from a 2010 Nissan Patrol. Nissan hasn't touched this interior for about 7 years, and even though in North America they're calling this all new, we know it's not. The other place where the 2010 really shines through is the little screen between the gauges, which just has horrible graphics and its old black and white style. Now, besides some of those small things, I do actually like this interior. The wood is quite nice, the leather on the seats is really nice, and these seats are quite comfortable. I like that in our Platinum model, we have the second row bucket seats, which are an option, and when you get them, they tumble forward, making getting into that third row quite a bit easier. So there are quite a few things that Nissan did do pretty well in here. And it's not like Nissan let all the technology get old, as this Armada Platinum has adaptive cruise control, lane keep assist, and a bunch of the other safety features which have become common these days. This 2017 Armada isn't the hardcore off-roader I know it could have been, but when you look at it for what it is, it does a pretty good job. It's got a powerful V8, plenty of capability, space for the family, and a nice plush ride. But walking away from it, I just can't help but feel that Nissan missed an opportunity.